What's up, guys? Eric here with Drive to Thrive, doing a quick update for you guys. I want to address a couple comments and questions I've seen, but first tell you that trucking, OTR trucking has prepared me for having a baby for sure, because sleep is... I don't drive a truck OTR anymore, but sleep is still... I'm down here at Einstein Bagel waiting for them to open here in a few minutes. Got up at 4:50 this morning, and if I didn't have a baby, I would have just gotten a great 8 hours of sleep. But I've got a newborn baby. He's two and a half weeks old, and his schedule is basically like a trucking schedule. It's going to be different every day, and you have no idea what really to expect from it and no way to really plan for it. If he wants to be up all night, he's going to be up all night. And unfortunately, our baby parties all night. That's when he does not want to sleep. It just is what it is. So, in trucking, we never really acknowledge it that much while we're on the road, certainly not on YouTube. But if anyone thinks that the DOT regulations, like hours of service regulations, for those of you who are not truck drivers, the DOT has mandates on hours of service. So you basically have to stop for a 10-hour break at, 14 hours of on duty, et cetera, et cetera. And the assumption is that you're going to get 8 hours of sleep. Well, I'm no longer OTR, so I'll take one for the team here, and I'll tell you non-drivers that the DOT mandate for that 10 hours does not mean shit. It does not guarantee anything. It doesn't guarantee you're going to be asleep for 8 hours. It doesn't mean shit. Especially for team trucks. If you're on a team truck and you're taking a 10-hour break while the truck is moving, just because you have to be off duty or in a sleeper berth for 10 hours does not mean that driver is getting 8 hours of sleep. Most drivers are not getting solid 8 hours of sleep, even solo drivers, because there's so much that has to be done even in that 10-hour break. When you're driving for 600 miles, 10 hours, and then you got a couple hours on duty, everything else that you have to do in life and around that business has to occur during that 10-hour break. Laundry, showers, paying your bills, talking to your family, whatever other tasks and things you have to do, all have to happen in that 10-hour break. So the idea that the hours of service ensures people are getting 8 hours of sleep is absolutely absurd. It doesn't at all. And in fact, in my case, a lot of times the DOT hours of service is what prohibited me from getting the kind of good sleep that I needed. Because instead of me being able to plot and plan out good sleep, which may not have been a solid 8 hours, but many times I had the ability, if my clock would have allowed for it, to stop in 4 and 5, like 3 different 4 and 5 hour chunks, and got really good solid 3-hour sleeps 3 times in a day. But because of the way the clocks work, it doesn't, you can't stop and sleep and get rest when it's most convenient for you and when it's going to do the best for you. You have to stop and sleep when the DOT clock says you have to stop and sleep. And in many cases, that's not even when you're going to be ready to sleep. In a lot of cases, you may have just woke up 5 hours earlier. and went and got a load, or went and dropped off a load or something, and because of the way your next load is, you've got to stop for another 10 hours so that you make sure you have your clock back to, so the idea that you're going to sleep, wake up, work for a few hours, and then go back to sleep for 8 hours so that you're ready for what then could be a 600-mile drive and several hours of on duty and stuff. It's, the concept is admirable, but the execution and the practice of the DOT hours of service is just crap. But anyway, now that I'm no longer OTR, I'll admit that probably more times than not, I was not what I would call properly rested. Now, I wouldn't say, I would never drive the truck in a dangerous situation. I would never drive the truck super sleepy, or I just wouldn't put the truck or anyone around other people in danger by driving drowsy or anything like that. But you never feel rested. You never feel, you might feel right when you start a drive shift, okay, I'm ready to go, you got your coffee, you're gonna go pound out a couple hours feeling amazing and great, but you never really, for a full shift in driving, feel rested. And it's a lot, it's a lot of variables. It's not just the hours of service. It's that you're sleeping in different places. You're sleeping at different times, different environments, different temperatures every single night. There's just so many different things that make getting realistic, good rest on the road almost impossible, But now that I have a baby, it's like the same thing. I don't drive a truck anymore, but I still don't control my sleep schedule, and I'm not getting very much sleep. Those of you who have babies or kids, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, one of the questions that I've seen pop up quite a few times, and someone left a comment on a video back, or a couple of videos back. It was someone who used my driver code as a referral. And the comment, and they sent me a text message too, was something along the lines of, were you misleading or misrepresenting because I used your referral code and you said go to Prime, and I went to Prime and had a really bad experience, and you're leaving Prime, so were you misrepresenting or misleading? That could not be further from the truth, you guys. I recommend Prime full on, and I'm going to do more videos about this too. I think Prime is an amazing company to start with. I still run freight for Prime. My trucks still run freight for Prime, and I'm diehard Prime. I think Prime is an amazing company. Me no longer driving had absolutely nothing to do with Prime Inc. Zero, nothing. It had everything to do with the fact that because we were having a baby, Jenna could no longer be on the truck with me. And that was not ever what either of us signed up for when we got into it. Even before she was going to drive the truck, she was still going to ride on the truck with me so that we were always together. So, if you go back on my channel, you'll see that I thought I could do it. I thought I could pull it off without her. And truth be told, it was absolutely miserable. It was miserable. So, really that's what it came down to, is that I don't want to be out on the road away from her. And I especially don't want to be on the road away from my baby boy. He's my world, Yes, you guys are going to meet him pretty soon, but so anyway, this coffee place is open, Einstein Bagel, for those wondering. So we ran out of coffee at the house yesterday morning, and we've been dealing with a lot of stuff that I'll talk about in the coming weeks here on this channel, but because of that, we weren't able to get more coffee yesterday, so I had to come down to Einstein Bagel, get coffee this morning, get my day started. Figured I'd do a video, let you guys know what's up. Be safe, make good decisions, and as always, drive to thrive. Talk to you soon.